Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. Today, I've got 3 new releases I want to talk to you about. Some pretty cool stuff. 2 of them more in the kind of like southern rock, blues rock, jammy type thing. The other, a long time band who kind of dabble in psychedelic rock and hard rock and a little bit of fusion, lots of prog. They've actually been a very prolific band for a number of years that we've covered here on Sea of Tranquility quite a bit. So we're going to talk about each one of them. The first one, okay, the album is called Down to the River by the newly formed the Allman Betts Band. Allman Betts Band, you might be saying, gee, I know those names. Yeah, hell yeah, you do. We're talking about Devon Allman, son of Greg, or maybe it's Devon Allman, probably Devon Allman, not Devon. Devon Allman, son of Greg, Dwayne Betts, son of Dickie, Barry Oakley Jr., son of Barry, obviously, and a couple other guys. All right, let me list them all off here. Hold on. Johnny Stachella on guitar, John Lum on drums, and R. Scott Bryan on percussion and backing vocals. And we've got someone else on keyboards who's just joined the band. Hold on a second. I will get you that info momentarily. This is a great, great debut album that we just got sent recently, who's John Ginty on keyboards, okay? I'm going to make sure we got everybody correct and play. Actually, and John is not on the album itself. On the album playing keyboards is Pete Levin, the great Pete Levin, brother of Tony, on Hammond organ and electric piano, and various other keyboards. So let's give you a little look at the guys here. All right. So basically how this band was formed, well, a couple years ago, Greg Allman passed away, right, which basically signaled the end of the Allman Brothers Band. They kind of been on their way out for years. We had Warren Haynes and Derek Trucks both decided to leave the band to go spend all their time on Gov't Mule, Tedeschi Trucks Band, right, which kind of left the Allman Brothers in limbo. Greg started doing some solo stuff once again, but then, of course, he left us a couple of years back, and that basically signaled the end of the Allman Brothers. So kind of like a big void left there with no Allman Brothers. For one, I've been kind of going to see and listening to the Allman Brothers for the majority of my life, so it's kind of weird not having them around, right? But now all of a sudden this album comes out, and you got, the sons of 3 of former Allman Brothers members putting an album out that sounds a lot like classic Allman Brothers in spots. All right, so you got Devon Allman, who sings, plays guitar, acoustic and electric. I think does he play some keyboards on here? What else? Hold on, let's see. I know he covers a bunch of things on here. Backing vocals, mostly guitars. Yeah, mostly all kinds of guitars and vocals. You got Dwayne Betts on lead vocals, rhythm lead, and acoustic guitars. All right, you've got Barry Oakley Jr., obviously, on bass and backing vocals, just like his dad. Johnny Stachella, slide, rhythm, and lead guitars. John Lum on drums, like I said, and R. Scott Bryan on percussion and backing vocals. So you've got basically a 3-guitar army here, all right? A lot of really great songs. Some of the stuff's kind of funky. Some of it's kind of, got a lot of rootsy qualities to it. There's got some sizzling Allman Brothers style southern rock, right, with the driving rhythms, the cool kind of funky riffs and all those dual and triple harmony guitar parts and stuff like that. Great lead vocals from both Mr. Betts and Mr. Allman. Each one kind of sounds a little bit like his dad. All right, not surprising. So you can, and they definitely sound different from each other. So you can definitely tell when each one is singing. There's a couple tunes that have a little kind of country blues flavor. More importantly, a lot of really cool blues material. So it's kind of bluesy southern rock, okay, a little bit of funk, a little bit of country. Some great instrumental interplay. The guitar work is just stellar throughout here. Some really good Hammond B3 work. It's just a really, really tasty album. And it's one of those albums that the more you listen to it, the better it gets. Oh, and it was also recorded at Muscle Shoals Studios, okay, which just adds even more to the specialness of this whole product. It sounds, it's got this classic sound. The production is great. The songs are really catchy. They even do a cover version of Tom Petty's Southern Accents, which is kind of poignant, pretty good, very well done. So a really, really good album. Some of the highlight tracks, my favorites that you need to look out for. Go check out Autumn Breeze. It's the longest tune on the album. It's got some great guitar work on it. All Night, the kickoff track, really, really strong. Shining is great. Try is great. Long Done, the last track, Long Gone, I should say, Long Done. It'd help if I could read, right? You know what the problem is? It's just so hard to see some of these CDs. The writing is so small. A lot of great tracks. I highly recommend this. Go check it out. If you're an Allman Brothers fan, what are you waiting for? Next up, Allman Brothers related. How about Gov't Mule? Bring on the Music live at the Capitol Theater. Double disc live album. Awesome. We're talking about a lot about live albums these days. It's available on 2 CD set. You can also, I think, you can get a 2 CD and 2 DVD set. It's also available on Blu-ray, so you can get, whether you're interested in audio and the visual, or just the audio or just the visual, you can get they have all these combinations available. Killer. I mean, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Warren Haynes and Company, one of the hardest working bands on the planet. If you love their studio albums, very cool. Their live albums are usually even better. These guys just excel on stage, man. They're a mix of kind of like, British style hard rock, because of course, some of their favorite bands are, Free and Bad Company and Zeppelin and all the greats, Deep Purple. But of course, they got that Southern thing going on. They jam a lot. All right. They got a lot of roots rock going on in their music, and killer guitar solo and great keyboard work, the fantastic vocals from Mr. Warren Haynes. You got some classics on here like Life Before Insanity and Mule. A couple great covers. They cover Grand Funk Railroad, Sin's a Good Man's Brother. What else you got in here? Killer versions of World Boss. What else? Thorns of Life, Railroad Boy, Beautifully Broken. Funny little tragedy with a little message in a bottle from the Police kind of nestled in there as well. Very cool. Very fun album. Just amazing performances. Very well recorded. I can't recommend this highly enough. If you are a Gov't Mule fan, or maybe just never experienced Gov't Mule, just go check this out. You'll love it. You'll want to go experience all their other stuff. All right, last but not least, we've got the brand new one called Dark Matter Halo from the Rick Ray Band. Rick Ray, of course, is, for some of you longtime Sea of Tranquility folks, probably should not be any surprise to hear that Rick and Company have a new album out. For a while there, like throughout the late 90s and the early 2000s, man, Rick Ray Band was coming out with a new album, new CD, it seemed like every other month. Right? If you go look at their discography, it's like 1,000,000 miles long. But in recent years, kind of taking a little slower approach. And I think that has helped the band. I think their material is just so much better the more time they take to kind of see it all through. I really dug their last album, which came out in like 2017, I think. And this latest one, for my money, is probably the best thing they've ever done. It's just got a great mix of hard rock, psychedelia, a lot of jazz and jazz fusion going on. Because, of course, you've got a sax player in the band. All right, so let me just list off who we've got here. We've got, hold on. So Rick Ray on vocals, guitars, and keyboards. Okay, you got Kip Volans on drums and percussion, Dave Shaggy Snodgrass on bass and vocals, Rick Schultz on sax and bass clarinet, and like I said, Rick Ray on guitars, vocals, and keyboards. A really interesting mix, like I said, of psychedelia, hard rock, progressive rock, and jazz fusion. Some stellar tunes on here. I love the heaviness of On the Take. The title track is just this really cool kind of proggy, jazzy thing. In my review on the website, I said it kind of reminded me of like a hard rock version of Van de Graaff Generator with lots of sax. Really, really interesting. What else is good here? As the Room Went Dark is kind of jazzy, kind of proggy, a little atmospheric. Electroshock is great. Autumn Wind is kick-ass. Just a lot of really good songs. And it's just really different sound. If you want to hear something really different, okay, they go from like these quirky arrangements, with sax bobbing all over the place and cool rhythms and, like intricate guitar work. And then another tune will like slam you over the head with muscular riffs that kind of sound like very, very early Rush. Right, other tunes you got, it sounds like the Canterbury Scene, very quirky, lighthearted, and some stuff is just straight ahead, bluesy prog. It's just a little bit of everything, and Rick is such a good guitar player. Rick is a great guitar player, okay? Unleashes all sorts of great solos and riffs on here. You know, Mr. Schultz, very good sax player. The whole band is very, very talented. I really like this a lot. Best thing they've ever done, in my opinion. So go check it out. The Rick Ray Band, Dark Matter Halo. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We've got full reviews of all three of these. In fact, they all went live today, so go check them out. We're on Facebook, of course. We're on Twitter, and we're here on YouTube every day. So what do we got coming up? Hopefully tomorrow we can squeeze in a questions and answers show. If not, it'll wait till next weekend. But we're doing a bunch of classic live album wars here this weekend. So stay tuned for all that, and we'll see you real soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.